I want you to hit me with a guess right now. Which one do you think does fatter rips, the TinyMight 2 or the Venty? And I'm not talking about fresh out the box. I'm talking about when you put a water pipe adapter on it and you start bonging it. You start bonging the rips, because I tested this out last night on my live streams, which are on Twitch, Kick, and Rumble, by the way. You should check them out, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. But before I did the test, I was positive I knew how it was going to go. It's one of those things where you're like, yeah, I'm just going to do a video. I already know how it's going to go, but let me just show you the test. I actually was wrong. I thought it was going to go one way, and it frankly, it went the other. So what I did was I took the TinyMight 2, I took the Storz Bickel, and I put water pipe adapters on there, which I got both of the water pipe adapters from Planet of the Vapes. I think they're one of the only places where you can get one for the Venty. I hadn't seen them anywhere else, so I thought it was a nice little touch that they had for that. But I had sort of experimented with this before in other videos, but I hadn't quite used the TinyMight 2 glass adapter, water pipe adapter, and I finally got one. It makes it a lot easier to use, but also, like, the size of the bowl is a little bit on the small side compared to the Venty, so you kind of have to take that into consideration. But I pulled out all the stops. I did some massive rips on each. I put it through like a small glass piece, my little Summit, which is like an 8-inch beaker. And then I also busted out my big 30-inch tag, because I wanted to see, can these little handhelds, can these little portables fill up a big old tube? Look, they can do it. But with the consideration that I have more flour in the Venty bowl, I knew that I was probably going to get more vapor overall with that. I didn't realize the difference. So immediately when you start hitting the TinyMight 2 on a water pipe, you notice that the airflow is a little bit more restricted than you would need to pull it through water. Now, I have no problems getting huge hits out of the TinyMight with like the glass ball adapter, the regular mouthpiece. I can take some massive dry hits like that. But when I put it on the water pipe adapter, my rate at which I pull is increased, because I'm trying to fill up the piece. I'm trying to milk it. I'm trying to get a dang old cloud going. And look, I want to show you the clouds in this video, but YouTube, they just restricted my other video. I didn't even have clouds in it. So it's like, they definitely get me with the clouds, but then like they still get me without sometimes. Not all the time, sometimes. But I'm going to link a Rumble video if you want to see the hits. But immediately I noticed the airflow on the TinyMight it's not doing it. It's too restricted for a water pipe. It's fine when you're ripping it right out the box, ripping it dry. But when you go for the water pipe, I couldn't get that big chug. I couldn't get that big tug. I couldn't get that massive rip going. And the TinyMight is one of those where you can crank the temperature up a little bit higher than the Venty. Like, you can run the risk of combustion if you're not playing your cards right. You're on the max temp, your flour's a little on the dry side, and you're ripping it really hard. I actually feel like I came pretty close to combustion on the TinyMight. But hear me out. Hear me out. This is where it's crazy. The Venty, the Storz Bickel Venty with the water pipe adapter from Planet of the Vapes. Bro, it didn't even come close to combusting. It didn't even come close. I've always said this about the Venty. Like, I wish I could go up a few more degrees, because I feel like they did such a good job on you not being able to combust with this device that, like, I feel like the max temperature isn't high enough. But hear me out, it still does a good job. And for somebody that uses their AVB, no, it's not ABV, their AVB for edibles, this is incredible, because you're always going to have some nice AVB. You're going to have a decent amount of stuff left in that remaining decarb flour that you're going to be able to have a good time with. And I'm telling you, even when I put it on the 30-inch, I'm ripping it as hard as I can. I got the Venty on there. It holds maybe 50-60% more flour. I didn't weigh it out, but you could tell it holds more. I'm ripping this thing as hard as I can. It's got way better airflow. The default mouthpiece has adjustable airflow, but when you use the water pipe adapter, it's maximum airflow. And I'm telling you, I'm ripping this thing. I'm ripping it as hard as I can. I'm getting a bigger cloud than I'm getting with the TinyMight. I'm impressed that I was getting a bigger cloud, because in my experience, sometimes the pulls are a little bit more airy. But the fact that I just had more airflow overall and was able to really milk that piece up without running the risk of combustion was nice. Now, this test is interesting because that's not how I'm normally going to sesh, right? I'm not going to like take my portable and bring a water pipe. I'm not going to sit at my desktop with a water pipe and then use one of my portables for the most part. I got ball vapes for that. I got bigger hitters for that. But for somebody who's out there, they're trying to get one device that does it all. It meets their needs in any type of situation. I don't know, dude. I know I've said in the past I like the TinyMight 2 more than the Venty, but bro, this test really opened my eyes. Like if you're slapping it on a water pipe, bro, the Venty shines, bro. Especially if you're going on like a big piece, especially if you're trying to get big clouds, bro, the Venty shines and you're not even going to come close to combusting. Seriously, if you go check out that Rumble video, like the last bowl, bro, the flower it still had a little bit of green in it. Like I'm ripping it and ripping it and ripping it. And I'm like, oh, geez, bro, I'm taking monster hits. I pull up the top and I look at the bowl and I'm like, I think that's green, dude. So look, I'm trying to do more stoner science, comparing things back to back, because I try all these devices out, but when you really put them to the test side by side, you go, wait a minute, you could do that? Anyway, check out the Rumble to see the rips and tune into my live stream so you can be a part of the next test. I go live on Kick, Rumble, Twitch, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Where are you at?